Are you following Super Rugby Pacific 2024? Stick around, I'll share my insights for all the action from round 3. Hey everyone, it's Coach H here, and you've found Inspired by Union, a channel where I discuss all things Southern Hemisphere rugby. Let's dive right in. The Blues versus the Hurricanes. The Blues, with their backline decimated by injury, the Hurricanes just kept on piling on the pressure. The Canes ball carriers spent the night causing destruction, with Lakai, Iose and Naholo particularly a handful for the Blues defenders. Roygaard and Love sprinkled in the razzle-dazzle. The Canes, 3 wins on the trot and top of the table now, navigated their way to victory despite the loss of key and experienced players who now will have a tussle on their hand to win back their starting spots, including injured skipper Brad Shields. The Blues were well served by the Ione brothers throughout, and despite the mayhem and the disorder in the backline with players out of position, it's noted that the Blues hung tough. It's a real trait for this season in 24, just how tough they are. The Hurricanes won this quality and exciting encounter by 29-21. Moana Pacifica versus the Rebels. Both sides evenly matched. They both enjoyed periods of the game where they dominated territory and possession. Moana looked threatening when their ball carriers were able to get the head and shoulder through the line and generate quick ball. Unfortunately, their momentum was snuffed out with 2 yellow cards. The Rebels were solid, and Callaway was dangerous when working in and sniping around the ruck. In the end, the Rebels prevailed by making the most of their visits into the opposition 22. Congrats to Julian Savea, who now is the outright Super Rugby try-scoring record holder. The Rebels now move to 2-1, courtesy of this 29-23 victory. The Waratahs versus the Highlanders. An evenly matched game where no quarter was given by either side. A bloodied and Tars skipper Jake Gordon was testament to how ferocious the collision area was in a game where we saw 2 packs roll up their sleeves and they really hoed into each other for the 80 minutes. A topsy-turvy game, the Highlanders survived a poorly managed last 10 minutes, and the Waratahs' broken hearts when Tane Edmund's penalty sailed right of the uprights, right at the death. Tanielu Telea was a threat for the Highlanders with ball in hand and on defence. Ned Hannigan in his starting game was a handful at the breakdown and on the carry. Highlanders 23, Waratahs 21. Fijian and Drua versus the Crusaders. Wowzers, the Crusaders dropped 3 in a row. Congratulations to the Ndrua for winning their first game of the season. We now know exactly how hard the task is to replace Richie Mwonga at 10. It won't be panic stations in Christchurch, but they have got 3 Kiwi derbies in a row that could make or break their season. Ndrua delighted their fans with their performance. They steadily built into the game and arrested momentum from the visitors. After letting an opportunity slip last week, Ndrua are on the board, and they'll set about working their way into the 8 before the finals. Ndrua 20, Crusaders 10. The Chiefs versus the Reds. Suncorp Stadium, how good. The Reds quickly turning into the Chiefs' bogey side. In an untidy first quarter where both sides had a number of handling errors, the teams eventually found their flow and treated the fans in attendance to some end-to-end action. For the Reds, I was super impressed with Isaac Henry at 12, who both bent and broke the line and was impressive in his post-contact meters. Sami Penifina put on a questionable shot on Tom Liner that wouldn't look out of place on any of the NRL games that are staged in the same stadium. In an exciting contest, the Reds defended 20 plus phases at the death and then won a turnover penalty and the game. Reds 25 to the Chiefs 19. If you're finding these insights helpful, consider pressing the subscribe button, pressing that bell for more insights every week. Critics in past seasons have bemoaned some of the one-sided results, But thus far, after week 3, generally, most games have been a contest, and long may this trend continue. You in the rugby universe, please add a comment on why you're happy or not with your team's start to 24. I'm Coach H, and you've been watching Inspired by Union.